Hi there folks, today we're checking out the JBL Endurance Race. Let's do this.
Perfect.
Hi there folks, and welcome back to Novum Verum. Today we have the JBL by HARMAN Endurance Race. I am extremely excited about this particular product simply because it's my very first JBL review. Now this particular product came out earlier this year of 2022, I believe in like January or February. And yeah, I am stoked about it. This is completely waterproof, IP67, and they have this technology that they're referring to as smart ambient. I think it's some sort of ANC hybrid. I'm not too sure, haven't really read up on it at all. And as you can see, this packaging is pretty cool, especially this little window here on the back showcasing the earbuds themselves, which I really enjoy. And they do have this factory seal in the form of a sticker here, which I always appreciate. But anyhow, let's go ahead and crack this baby open, shall we? Now, if you are not familiar with JBL, they've been an industry standard for quite a while. If you've ever been to an arena, a concert hall, a sound studio, you've heard and used their products. They are pretty much the standard across the board when it comes to speakers. But I do understand if you're not familiar with their portable devices, simply because I myself have never used any of their Bluetooth speakers, or in this case Bluetooth earbuds. But there it is. Everything is separated, which is cool. Let's see, I'm guessing, yeah, let's set this aside real quick. This is their literature. Oh, and there we have a flat USB Type-C charging cable. And there's actually quite a bit here. We have quick start guide, Google Assistant setup guide, Amazon Alexa setup guide, and safety instruction and warranty card there. Cool. That's quite a bit, actually. And I'll set that aside. And let's take a look at this. So here we have, I'm not too sure what those are. Oh, I think if you don't like the wingtips on the earbuds, you can just replace them with those so they're not in the way. I prefer the wingtips simply because I feel that they give you a more secure fit, but I won't really know how comfortable they are until I actually put them on. So it's good to have that option to remove them. And there we just have two different size earbud tips. This case, however, yeah, even just looking at it, I can tell that it's not of quality material. As soon as I touched it, I knew for sure it's not the highest grade of plastic, which is somewhat disappointing coming from such a well-known brand. But here on the back, there is the Type-C charging port, as well as all the legal stuff. It feels like it's etched in there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it doesn't feel solid at all. LED light right there. All right, pretty straightforward case. But let's go ahead and take a look at the earbuds themselves. Oh, seems to be trying to connect already. That's odd. But it's nice to know that it does have an LED light on there. I have to say this is very light, despite its size. These are a little bit smaller than my Monster iSport Champions, but not by much. These are still quite large, but they are extremely lightweight. I'm very curious as to how these sound. But as I guessed, you can remove the wing tips and replace them with those ones so they're not in the way. Again, that's if you don't care for these at all. Alrighty. Well, anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead, charge these babies up, connect them to my phone, and we will take it for a test drive. Give me a moment, folks. I'll be right back. Thanks. All right, folks, here we are doing the audio test for the JBL Endurance Race, which I have on, as you guys can see. And of course, the audio you're hearing now is being picked up through the microphones on these. Now, I've had these for quite some time, at least 3 months. And I finally did unboxing, I would say, just a little over a month ago. And I've been using them ever since. I have not touched any other earbuds since then. And I've just been working on a different review during that time. And I have to say, these are absolutely amazing. It's been so long since I've been surprised by a product, but these surprised me not once but twice. So let me explain. First is the sound quality. Straight out of the box, these sounded absolutely amazing. Highs, mids, and lows were very well balanced, and the level of clarity and detail that I can get out of these is absolutely amazing. Not to mention that the bass is strong and full. These already has beaten most of the products I've tested out to date. I would say that these are not as good as, let's say, the Sony XM4 or the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. I think those ones are still my top two, but these are a close second to those, like just right below them. And it just blows my mind how good these are. Now, there is an accompanying app with a whole bunch of different things to customize and everything else. So it does have its own equalizer. It has a few presets, including a bass boost preset, and that was great. If for those bass heads out there, I would recommend these, but I would suggest having high fidelity soundtracks because even though it will improve all your music altogether, having low compression soundtracks are the best way to listen to music, and these are absolutely amazing. The drivers on these can handle a lot. Even at max volume, there was very little distortion, if any, really. It all depends on how good the compression is or what kind of format your tracks are. But it's very, very good. Now, the second thing that surprised me was actually something I discovered just a few days ago. So one of the issues that I ran into pretty much immediately as soon as I started using these was the fact that there was an obvious gap between the action on the screen to the sounds coming through on the earbuds when watching anything, like whether I'm watching Netflix or watching talking head videos on YouTube or live streams on Twitch. And even in playing games, there is a huge gap. It's so noticeable. It was very annoying. So that was one of the big disappointments. However, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I was just going through the JBL app and I found near the bottom that there are two different modes to these. There's a music mode and a video mode. When I clicked on that, that lag issue I was experiencing disappeared completely. Everything synced up perfectly. So going back, watching those same movies and those same videos, especially the talking head ones, the actor's lips move and the dialogue comes through immediately. Everything just is so much better. I was floored. Playing games, again, same thing. Everything just synced up so well. Like I am I have a lot of great things to say about these. However, there are a couple of issues that I do want to mention, so we'll talk about that when we step outside and do the outdoor portion of this test. Here we go. Bump. Let me just try to level this out. Looks good enough. and stepping out. It's actually pretty nice out, but it is a bit foggy, as you guys can see. Um, but to some of the things that I discovered. So first, one of my biggest issues is the controls. Um, Very similar to how the Sony XM4 was, you can customize the controls. However, they're grouped in sets and they're not as intuitive as you would like. So, one set is playback control, which also has track navigation. You can take those controls and put them on either earbud. So, currently, I have playback control on my left earbud. The other controls are voice assistant, that's one group, and another one would be the volume control. So I have volume control on my right earbud. I obviously don't really need the Siri or Google Assistant, but you can access it by just pressing and holding on the left earbud. I'm not too sure whether it works on both, but at least for me, that's what I've been doing. So you can still access it, you just don't have full control over it. Anyhow, having those groups of controls means that they're not as intuitive as I would like. So as I've always discussed previously, if I want to go to the previous track, I should touch the left, and to go to the next track, I should touch the right. Same goes for volume, but unfortunately, that's not how these are set up. So for track navigation, I'd be clicking on my left. For volume control, I click on my right. There is a bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to it, it's perfectly fine. Now, the other issue that I have is the call quality. So indoors in a controlled environment, or even in a less noisy environment outdoors, the microphones on these do a great job in picking up my voice and transmitting it clearly to the other person on the other end. However, whenever there is a lot of ambient sound and wind, that will kill my voice. So, with all the traffic going on behind me, the microphones would be struggling right now. I'm pretty sure trying to eliminate the background sounds and just focusing on my voice. But then, obviously, my voice will be distorted, and there's a lot of volume fluctuation in that. Whenever there's wind involved, I get drowned out completely. So, that is something to consider if you like having phone conversations and maybe you're always outdoors or in an environment that's very loud, like say like if you work in a noisy newsroom or something in your office space, these not might be great. But in a controlled environment, these are perfectly fine. I think the microphones on these are awesome. Anyhow, there's a lot of other things. There's other features that I would like to talk about, like the ambient mode and the talk through modes. But you know what? I'll hold off on that for my summary. So I'm going to stop this right here, head home, check my audio, and be back with my postmortem. Thanks, guys. Give me a moment. All right, folks, it's postmortem time for the JBL Endurance Race. And these are keepers. Honestly, I should not be surprised by how great the sound quality is, seeing as how they are designed and engineered by HARMAN. Now, a quick spiel about HARMAN. They have several audio engineering houses and brands under them, including, aside from JBL of course, Crown Audio, Bang & Olufsen, and AKG. AKG, of course, is the ones that produced the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro that I always rave about. And something else of note is that HARMAN and all its subsidiaries were acquired by Samsung in 2017. But that's enough with the history lesson. Back to the endurance race. Now, as I mentioned, the sound quality is impressive. The out-of-box performance was superb with its well-balanced sound profile and resounding bass. Listening to high-fidelity music tracks was quite enjoyable. The level of detail and clarity is superior to most other products I've tested over the years. Now, there is an accompanying app which, thankfully, is very useful and not just bloatware. There are two ambient sound modes, ambient aware and talk through. Ambient aware is straightforward. The mics turn on to allow ambient sound to filter in so you can hear everything that's going on around you while still enjoying your music and calls. Talk through is something completely different and surprisingly very convenient. This mode allows you to have face-to-face conversations without having to remove your earbuds. The mics kick in and monitor the sounds around you, simultaneously lowering the background noise volume while amplifying the voice of anyone in close proximity. I never even considered something like this, but looking back, I realized that every time I had earbuds on and someone walks up to me to have a conversation, I would automatically and unconsciously remove my earbuds immediately. With the talk-through feature, I never have to do this ever again. The app also has its own equalizer with a handful of presets, including bass, which is absolutely amazing. Now, for those bass heads out there, I will say that these produce very good bass. However, your music better be high-res lossless tracks. Now, these can improve bass in general, and the drivers can produce clean audio even at high volume levels, but they really shine when it's playing from a high-fidelity audio source. It's also in the app that you can switch between music and video modes. These modes take advantage of the Bluetooth 5.2 chipset and improved connectivity. As I mentioned during the audio test, keep it in music mode for your listening pleasure and switch to video mode for improved latency when enjoying movies and playing games. Now, what's more with the app is that it allows you to access the Find My Buds and power saving features, as well as customize the controls. This is, of course, my only real gripe, as the control sets aren't intuitive and require some getting used to. But once you are used to these gestures, it works well enough. However, I will say that the responsiveness isn't as quick as I would like. It's just about a half second slow. The fit is the only other thing I personally have a bit of an issue with. The buds fit well enough and are quite comfortable, however I notice they wobble a bit when running. They sit pretty secure and haven't fallen out at all, but I wish they fit tighter and stayed fixed. This is, of course, just a personal thing. Not all ears are created equal after all. The material is predominantly plastic, but of much better grade than most other comparable products, and the construction is superior as well. So if those are my only issues, then they're not much of a big deal whatsoever. Now, as to the price. At the time of purchase, they were $99.99 Canadian plus taxes. Currently, they're still at that same price. However, I have seen them go on sale for as low as $79.99 on Amazon, as well as other big box retailers. But even at its regular price of $100, I think it's still a worthwhile product. Now, of course, there are some features that it doesn't have, like active noise canceling, wireless charging for the case, and a pairing or reset button on the case itself. But honestly, they're things that I can do without. These buds are dust, sweat, and waterproof, and they're actually submersible up to 1 meter. It also has Bluetooth 5.2, great quality audio engineered by HARMAN, solid build quality, and a simple to use app with actual usable features. The JBL Endurance Race is almost the full package at a very approachable price. I wholeheartedly recommend these. Thank you all for watching. As always, I have more reviews on the way, and if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. You'll have an opportunity to win an Amazon gift card. Thank you all once again. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.